today, thank you for coming to this very important episode on the Wacky Teacherpreneurs Podcast. We have a sad looking pug wrapped in a blanket, wondering, is he being used? Is she being used? Are they being used? And oh, yes, you are. I'm sorry, pug. So this episode is sort of a continuation of the last one, but this time we're going to be talking about things we wished we'd known before starting a business partnership. So hopefully this will be just as helpful as the last episode that we put out into the world of wacky teacherpreneurs and whoever else is listening or watching on YouTube. Jess is surrounded by, what are those guys again?
They're stormtroopers and they get used by the Empire.
Oh, pugs and stormtroopers get used all the time by their business partners. Okay, let's get started. So, what's one thing you wished you'd known before starting a business partnership? You are in a business partnership with me right now. What do you wish you'd known before starting up with me? Just kidding. Maybe you want to answer that.
I don't know. Let's see. I've been in so many partnerships and there's probably two big things. Two big things come to mind. And one is that contracts, like if you don't know the person really well, or even if you feel like you do, probably should have some kind of contract going into it, listing out what you're getting, what they're getting, who owns what. Because I was a part of a pretty big partnership and the person sort of took everything and, claimed that, oh, they had built this company from the ground up. And we built a huge Facebook group, email list of almost like 10,000 people. And I lost all of that. Like I didn't have any ownership or claim to the email list. And that's where the money is the email list. And I wish knowing then we just had a verbal agreement that we're going to brand everything under that person's business logo, right? And I wish I would have been a little more savvy and set myself up. At the time, this person felt like one of my best friends. And why would one of my best friends stab me in the back? Well, guess what? It's already happened 12 times. So now I kind of know. And I just did a collaboration with someone, a very cool person, someone I went to New Zealand with. And yeah, they brought up a contract and I just said, yeah, let's do a contract. Like every time someone offers, sometimes I bring it up, sometimes they bring it up. I'm like, let's do a contract just in case. Because like having an email list that I personally helped build and a Facebook group that I helped build just stolen right out from under me, that really hurt. And that hurt me as an entrepreneur. It was pretty bad. I even had people years later come up to me and say, "Hey, I remember you being involved with this business. What happened?" Or "I first heard about you through this business. Why aren't you involved with it anymore?" And it's because I'm a dummy and didn't have a contract. So
Oh, be nice to yourself. Like,
that's
come
how I
on.
feel.
I know, but you're not a dummy. And
I do feel
I
like a
also
dummy.
I think that yeah, I think a contract is really helpful. And if someone doesn't want to do it, then that might be like a, have you heard of yellow flags?
No, tell me.
Well, it's like a red flag, but it's like not as bad. I don't know. I mean, a lot of yellow flags could equal one red flag, right? I've learned about this from like some dating podcast. Not that I'm dating. Okay, anyways, I don't know why I listen to the podcasts I listen to sometimes. But another thing too that you might want to put in the contract, and I was thinking about this for us too, is like an end date. Do you know what I mean? Or like an exit plan? Like what's how long or and even like I wish I'd known that I could do a trial run with someone, like I could let's do this for 3 months and see where we're at. Like at that point, so that you're not like, so that you, especially if you've just met the person, because it is so invigorating and exciting when you meet someone that aligns with your views. This just happened to me. I met a person through my podcast. They emailed me and they like we collaborated and I was just like, wow, this person like we really have very similar values and similar beliefs about like AI that's more nuanced. It's not AI is bad, AI is good. It's like there's this in between place. And I haven't heard a lot of people talking about AI in that way, right? In that in between place. And so this person, I got super excited and I noticed patterns and you noticed too, of like the way that I was kind of going about things with this person. And it was like I was doing a lot to help their cause. And so that gets me to the second thing, which is like, I wish I'd known what being co opted was, which I didn't know what that was until I described what was happening. And my therapist used that term because we both have therapists, right? And my therapist was like, yeah, you're being co opted because your views align so much. And you start to feel really strongly about their cause, but then you end up kind of forgetting everything else that you are all about. And I don't know why that happens, but it happens really easily to me.
Probably some of the reasons I listed in our last episode, just like you're a really good listener, you have a high level of empathy when you're listening to people, but you also get easily excited about, topics that you align on. So I
Mhm.
think it's just like there's lines that get blurred when well, like we always say this, that we love learning. We're lifelong learners,
Yeah.
right? And so we meet a new person who's teaching us something new. It's also something we like. It's easy to get us co-opted into what they're doing. And it's funny, is the last person who had me co-opted, I was actually telling them, like, I think I'm co-opted into your ideas.
Wow. Yeah.
I was telling that person, like, I think that this is more you than me. What can we do about this? And they kept reassuring me, oh no, Jess, it's all about you. Anything you want to do, we'll do. Well, obviously, that was not the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you wish you'd known that you could actually use that term with the person. Like, let me teach you what co-opting is. I have a tendency. There's another term that I've recently learned about called limerence. I think I've taught you about that, where you like fall in love with people like from afar. And there's like parasocial relationships where you feel like you know someone even though they don't even know you exist. And like I have a lot of parasocial relationships, like I don't know, I'm just going to name one, like Divergent Conversations, that podcast. Those two hosts, Dr. Megan Anna Neff, who's ADHD, um and Patrick, because I can't remember his last name. He's all his Patrick, because I don't want to say his name wrong. He's also ADHD and a therapist, and they don't even know I exist. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I'm in love with them, but like, if they ever contacted me and wanted to like work with me, I would probably, what's that, like fangirl? I would be sort of a fangirl, and that's dangerous. So I wish I'd known about the dangers of fangirling and putting people on pedestals because we're all equal. Like, really, I mean, just because we have a freaking podcast and a YouTube channel, it doesn't make us special. Like, it really doesn't.
Yeah, my therapist just told me something I do called fawning.
Yes. Yeah. And it's
And
similar.
apparently I'm doing this to people at work. Like because
Oh,
I just got a new job and I want people to like me. And apparently I'm doing it to my coworkers. I'm fawning, which is
oh.
hilarious, right?
I do that too. Like
Like that
in
I'm doing that
staff
at work.
meetings, or like in collaboration meetings, you're and fawning. I honestly, I don't really understand the difference between fawning and people pleasing. Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, as I said something about people pleasing, and it sounds like fawning is a little bit more intense. Like it's not like you're just doing people favors. You're you're actually putting yourself out a little bit too much.
Okay, I'm asking ChatGPT, and I bet our listeners are annoyed. I'm annoyed with myself, so don't worry about like how often I feel the need to ask ChatGPT or Google questions. Like it's such a huge phenomenon. Like I think everyone is suffering from this. There should be a term for it. Uh-oh. Jess is talking to, Jess is talking to her Obi-Wan again. Her dog. What's the difference between fawning and people pleasing? Tell me. But if you're a fawner or a people pleaser, I think being aware of it before getting into a partnership with a business is important.
So
Mm.
you're Googling it right now?
Yeah, I also think that being aware that you have low self-esteem, because I think people with low self-esteem have more of a tendency to put others on a pedestal. And if you put someone on a pedestal, and if you're working with someone and you're starting a business or collaborating with someone that you've put on a pedestal, you're so much more likely going to be fawning and people pleasing. Okay, a short version, people pleasing is a behavior pattern, fawning is a trauma response. What? Aren't they
Great.
both trauma
Just more
responses?
problems I have. This is like when I go to the doctor, Amanda, and they always look at my ears and they're like, oh my gosh, they're totally blocked. You should see an ear specialist. I'm just like, oh, great. More problems I have, right? More problems. Thanks a lot, therapist. More problems I have.
Oh, wow. And then it's bringing up masking, which I definitely do. You know about masking, right? It's like you kind of pretend to be something that you're not. Well, like being so agreeable at work, right? Like so agreeable when really inside everything pisses you off. Like that's how I mean, that's one of the reasons I quit teaching is because the masking turns into burnout because you're constantly pretending to be so agreeable, right? And so kind and bending over backwards for everyone and but inside you're dying. And you hate everyone.
This sounds like my entire personality.
Well, and look at those agreeable stormtroopers. Like they're all, are they agreeable? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they have to be, or they'll be killed by the Empire.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things it talks about ChatGPT, I'm looking at my screen, a neurodivergent note. ChatGPT is always talking to me about neurodivergence, I think, because I don't know. Anyways, social motivation. Um, it's talking about masking and threat management. So one of the ways that you manage threats, right? Like is by masking. So the stormtroopers don't want to die and you don't want to be disliked at work, right? Like and I think you've been in really toxic work environments where people have been really mean and cruel to you and same with me. And so we want to protect ourselves from that.
I agree.
What else did we want to know before starting a business partnership?
Did we do the whole list that you have?
No, I could read
What's
it.
next? Yeah, what's the next thing on the
So we talked
list?
about co-opting, contracts. I wish I, this is something I wrote. I wish I knew that people can be narcissists or have mental illnesses or be dishonest.
That's every single person I know. Just
Um,
kidding. Because I know Amanda, but no,
well,
that's a
but I can
lot of
be
people that
kind
have
of
burned me.
I can be kind of narcissistic sometimes. I know I can be self-centered, but I'm aware of it, right? Like some people aren't even aware. Okay, I wish I knew more of my strengths and weaknesses. I think this goes back and other people's strengths and weaknesses, right? This goes back to like not putting people on pedestals. And then the next one is I wish I knew that I could do a trial run with a partnership. And then the last one is I wish I knew how to say no politely. So like you don't have to collaborate with this person.
I have a hard time saying no to things. Like people will ask me to do something, I'm just like, okay, and there's literally zero benefit for me doing anything with them. But I'll just do it. Takes up tons of my time and then nothing good happens from it. This is like the story of my life. Not always. I mean, there's some people I genuinely enjoy having in my life, like you. And there are a lot of benefits from us doing this podcast. I love when people talk about us in Facebook groups. They're like, "Oh my gosh, have you heard Wacky Teacherpreneurs? They're so cool." And I'm like, I have a list now of like 12 people that keep mentioning us. So
That's
thank you, 12
awesome.
people.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely an ego boost. I feel like sometimes that makes me a little bit um
Like
um
you don't want to be seen.
yeah, like I get really insecure. Like I just feel insecure nonstop. Um
That's kind
but
of funny you're
also
saying that because of that dog with the blanket. Like
yeah,
that's
I'm
like
like don't look at
screaming.
me.
You're like
I'm
the
just like
dog.
you. I'm not.
You're like the dog. You're like a twin right now. You're like exactly like you're insecurity twins.
Well, but no, there's this thing in the autism world called being perceived, and how hard that is. Like when you're perceived by others, which is really weird because if you're in front of an audience, like you're a teacher in front of a classroom, you're being perceived by all of your students. But I think the way that autistic people like can be comfortable with that is if they're talking about one of their special interests, their passions. And so you forget that anyone's perceiving you because you're providing lots of information and you're helping others. At least this is my, and so but yeah, like I think I am very sensitive to being perceived, right? Like I listen to our podcast episodes, but I never watch our episodes. I never watch them on YouTube. I don't.
I
Do you?
sometimes I turn them on. Anthony loves watching them. He thinks they're just such a hoot.
Oh man. Yeah.
Also, Anthony turns them on for our dog before we leave the house. And our dog just watches us.
And your dog knows my voice. That's so cute.
He does, for sure.
Um, okay, what else did you wish you knew before these 12 evil people?
I mean, I don't know. I think we kind of touched on everything. Like, one, that people are not, they don't always have the intentions that they say they have, and you have to be careful. And two, contracts can really save your butt if you start something special with someone. You got to look out for yourself. I mean, that's really what I wish I knew is that I had some sort of I don't know. I think my ChatGPT calls it like a scaffolding ladder. Like I had no scaffolding beneath me when I did all of these partnerships. I had nothing that I was personally like building or anything to like hold me if I fell. And that's what I'm learning now. That's what I'm trying to teach myself through business is how do I build my own scaffolding so when I do work with other people, if it collapses, I'm not left on the ground again.
Yeah, I love that. Like having your own sort of support system. And last episode, we talked about partnerships and marriages and even like empty nesters, like you're going through that. What is something like, what are things you can do for yourself that will benefit you no matter what, no matter who's here, right? Like, no, like, because
Yeah, and
we,
that's
yeah.
something I'm going through therapy right now is me and my husband are now officially kind of empty nesters. My stepdaughter's 19 and this is our first holidays without her in the house and it's been really hard. And one thing that I'm learning is like to create rituals and things you look forward to that you can always do by yourself. Like it could be that you're always going to watch a favorite movie around the holidays or you're always going to go on a walk in this one place. Like you need to start with you and creating rituals that you enjoy by yourself. And then if your spouse can join you, all the more fun, right? If eventually someday your kid that abandoned you can come and join, more fun, right? Like if you have friends in the future that can join you on these rituals, but like the important part is you starting like these grounding things. And I think that's what's so important for your business too. And that's what I didn't have going into my partnerships. I didn't have like businesses that were supporting me and my income streams, right? Like I didn't have an email list. I didn't have a, founding, a central product that I was kind of focused on presenting to the world. I didn't have a lot of things going on. And so that's why when these businesses dropped out from under me, I fell on the floor. That's why I'm on the floor right now with I've had friendship ruptures and now no child at home for holidays. And I'm kind of on the floor flailing around, like, what do I do with myself?
Mm.
And that's what I'm learning now is how do I build things for just me that are sacred for just me? And I do think I could be learning a lot more about me and my husband talked about doing yoga and meditation together last night because we're like, those are things that would ground both of us. We could do them together or separately and they would help us as individuals. Like we talked about a lot, like for an hour last night.
Yeah, no, I love that because the word that came to mind too was like codependent, which it's hard not to be codependent when you're in like a marriage or a partnership, like because you, like I said before, like you become really interdependent and enmeshed, right? But like you don't have to be, and I mean, you can be in some ways, but in other ways, how can you develop your own independence, your own, yeah, like have your own home base? I know you have Squarespace now, and you're working on that, and um, just and your own home base in your business might be your website or might be your Shopify or your Teachers Pay Teachers store, right? Like, I mean, you have that home base that you can always go back to. You're not on the floor. I mean, you've got TPT, but I know TPT is a little scary in a scary place right now with AI and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
what I really need to learn is like how do I build myself more scaffolding so that no matter what opportunity comes around, I'm still on this platform that I've built myself
yeah. Well, you
and
still have
it's
your
mine.
Instagram too.
Yeah, and I do have that. I have some things, but they feel like shaky little structures. So I'm
Mhm.
trying to build things that are more stable and more my own right now.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's really important. So I think the last thing that we'll leave everyone with is just make sure um you're building your independence. I mean, you can be interdependent, but you also need to make sure that you're independent and that you can survive on your own, like in case things go awry.
Hey,
Okay, I think that's good.
namaste.
Namaste.